What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the Going Into Time starter pack going up in price. Fossil Dyna quarter century secret rare is up, the speed duel secret is up, and every version is above $1. Interestingly enough, the platinum secret is only $2.50. It seems like this rarity really isn't that popular among the retro players, and I think it only really looks good on the vanillas personally. Let me know what you think of that, but the numbers do speak that people, despite the speed duel stamp being so complained about by many in the comment section, it is triple plus the price of that version. I think in Modern you just get this with 7th Tachyon and you make cheese plays or stuff like that. Let me know if there's another new way to tutor it out, but it's also mainly up, I would guess, for Edison. Let's talk about the 2025 10s though. We've had opening weekend come and go, and the top end has under a dozen sellers for Perulia. Dominus Impulse is starting to repopulate a bit, but it looks like Gamer's Choice wasn't too far off. They still were on the Dominus cards, but on Perulia, it's been hitting around the range that they were selling it for. The Starlight rares are coming down. This is the more populated part of the set. It is easier to pull Starlights than it is for the Prismatic Secrets, and it's showing as Pot of Greed comes down in price. SP Little Knight, you can look at Imperm's graph. It is coming down very steadily in price, starting to curve off a little, but now it's $21. Black Goat Laughs is around where pre-sales was, as is Lordly Load. So many people said no way that it sticks that price. It was short printed on its Battles reprint, just like Perulia was short printed on its Ultra reprint, and then the ratios are just so horrible that if a card debuted as secret rare and was reprinted secret in the 10s, it is harder per dollar spent to pull it out of the 10s than its OG product. This is insane to me. I did a whole video covering it, but I would seriously check that out if you didn't see it upload last night. I'm not going to go too in depth, but that is just disgusting to me. Now, when we go into the Starlight, some of them are performing, like Heart of the Blue Eyes is coming from the bottom of the barrel and rebounding. And I don't blame people, because this is one of the few collectible cards and casual bait cards together within the set. Like the quarter century secret rare is down over 50% for it. I blame nobody for going for the mid-max or easier access version and not paying $60 and instead paying $2 to $3 on this card. It just makes sense to do. They look so similar, and I just got the giant card of that, so true max rarity over here, even though it's in Spanish. We go into the Bestials doing decently still. They're the main chases, I think, personally, for the meta players within the Starlights. Like, yes, there's SP Little Knight, but it's had so many renditions, and you have the true max rarity for now on these. I really like the Bestials, and I think they'll go through formats. Ultra Harpies doesn't even make the front page anymore. How crazy is that? The Feather Duster is not on page 1, and Raigeki is slowly coming down in price too. Now, the sealed for this is going down while the singles go up. Welcome to the modern Yu-Gi-Oh market, because pull rates are so bad it's not worth opening for vendors, and they're trying to turn and burn this at break even to a loss. Now, $15 if you sell just one is directly a loss. And look at the entire front page. They're all lined up at $15 with 176 of these, $55, etc. But if you sell 3 or more, you're about at break even, and that's why you see people doing minimum order of 3 special price to try to get it out the door. Let's go ahead and see what they make selling 1 versus selling 3. At $15, you're going to take the platform fee first, which is 13% about, and then 30 cents for the credit card fee or what have you. Then we're also going to be paying shipping. I think that's around $4.47 cheapest, Texas to Texas for me. I'm not sure what it is in your area, but let's go ahead and subtract that, and it's abysmal. It's $8. So everybody getting hit with this only sold one, they're getting put in this position. But you can notice that a majority of orders are multiple of these, so that's good news for the sellers and why they're approaching it this way most likely. Let's go with the most common order number of 3 and see how that changes things. Well, you're going to still take that platform fee, which is going to hit it, and you're going to take the 30 cents on top. Then you're going to pay your shipping, and it's going to be about the same with just 3 bundles. If you get to over a pound, that's where serious changes might start. And then we're going to divide that back by the 3. And looky there, if we multiply that by selling an entire case, it's right around the price of what vendors are paying once you start to go into packaging and all your materials and stuff. Yes, you go even lower, but it's right around the break-even point to turn and burn this product. So either a loss or break even is what all of these people at $15 are hoping for on the platform, as I understand it. If you're a seller, let me know otherwise, but I've talked to major sellers on their shipping rates and what I get myself. There's Pirate Ship, there's also stamps.com, you can do a trial or whatever, but basically getting the lowest rates on shipping, you should probably be break even to loss on this. And MSRP is $21, keep that in mind, versus what sellers are going through. The staples themselves across the board for their other versions are bouncing back up in retaliation to the regular versions going up, and seeming like an overcorrection to the market came early to bring them all down versus the pull rates that were there. That was Gamer's Choice Theory, and it turns out they're right, especially on Foolos. I thought it was a fool's errand on that card, but turns out, yeah, it's an $18 plus card again. That kind of sucks. Then Iron Thunder is doing really well for itself. It's going up in price out of the Mega Pack and doing pretty good. We also have Malice Peach Hesi Cat getting bought out through the off season. That's an interesting choice to go for. And this is what I love about the 10s, even if they don't do the job that they used to. Dark End Evaporation Dragon gets its holo upgrade. People really like this card, and it ends up getting bought out here early as people rush it. This one just makes a ton of sense. It's a really cool card. Also goes with the history of the game of an icon, and it really is cool to see it debut common and then finally get what it deserves. Bestial Lubellion is creeping back up in prices. It missed the reprint wave, and if that quarter century secret rare gets an easy access Starlight, it's so cooked. But if it gets a hard one like Super Polymerization, then it'll be interesting to see where it ends up landing. But do be aware, the graphs on this card basically go in the 1 month range of, oh, it's not reprinted, and I need it for my other Bestials, and it is currently spiking. Justice Hunters is down on pretty much everything. And we're in the off season. It makes sense. It's not like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's failing, so the meta's dying and all that. Yu-Gi-Oh's still doing okay. But with the products continuing to fail and fail, it's pretty eye-popping to see the meta decks this cheap. Great for the players, bad for the stores, and bad for people that end up winning product too. So back to the players that are good players. But if you just want to play the decks, this is awesome news. And Cupsy Yummy has fallen back completely in price from the memes. Cookie is down further in price. Lolly is down. The Draco Tails are coming back down to earth versus their recent buyouts. Still up to a good degree from the buyout price point, but just crazy to see everything fall out. Even K9 is coming back down. You can see a little bounce back in the graph as it approached 30 even, but like it's still towards $32 from that 45 it used to be. So the sealed boxes of this are down towards 65 even, and this is one of the only successes of the year, and is still the current top decks. That's just where Yu-Gi-Oh's getting cooked so hard versus other card games. Like, this is potential set of the year, and then there's Rarity Collection, and it's not nearly as good as Bonanza. Rarity 4 is not performing with Stampede, and it is slowly coming down in price, and all the singles are. But this, in terms of the metagame, is set of the year, and that's where we're at. That's kind of it. Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, is going up. I believe they got new support and search power, so be aware that it is starting to spike on up. We also have DD Count Surveyor with their new support. Aaron McInnes was the original labber of DDDs that was successful. This is around $11 to $12 at this point. And then we go to the past formats. Utility with past formats, even with modern rarities, still seems to churn the bucket a bit. Tragodia is up in price, and I paused on that because it's in the anime. I was watching 5Ds and they're like Tragoedia, And I'm like, what is that pronunciation? Am I wrong all this time? Like, I think Togetic, and everybody else says Togetic. Like, am I just the wrong one? But everybody back in the day called this Tragodia, and it is way up in price for the quarter century secret rare. Stardust Assault mode is way up in price for its secret rare and popping off. I believe Fraser Smith has covered on this. And Arcane Apprentice only has one printing ever and is spiking as well. If this card was used for the synchro summon of a synchro monster and sent to the graveyard, you can add an assault mode activate from your deck to your hand. Blackwing Armor Master for past formats. It's quarter century secret rare. I called this pretty good at $3, and it's up towards $5. So not the greatest profits in the world, just slow, steady gains. Gladiator Beast War Chariot is up for its first edition secret rare, as it's one of those cards that missed the rounds of quarter century secret rares. $33 on its secret. Return from the Different Dimension rare. Near mint is a lot, $20. I have a good amount of these somewhere. And finally, Spiral Quick Fix is up. Anybody know why? It's easy to buy out these Battles of Legend QCRs, and even with QCRs being less popular, I remember it getting bought out to $60 multiple times, so it could be people trying to re-push, and you see it quickly does go back up towards 60. So just, again, easy, despite the less popularity of QCRs, to make QCRs bounce around from sets like this that are slowly at least aging towards positive. Thanks for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. I know that not everybody likes me being so harsh, but that's how I feel I need to be when it comes down to the product numbers ending up like this for stores. Like, is everybody going to sell their mega pack bundles out of their locals? Some locals will see success, others are going to see it rot on the shelves. And maybe on the backs of the staples, this does end up where people get the gambler's fallacy versus the pull rates to go for the cards, and it pulls itself out. I think last year's pulled itself out more on its collectability as well, with the Blue Eyes and the Dark Magician Girl and the vintage players going for a lot of those cards, and there were more of them. This year repeats the same altars on Regeki and Harpies, gives Pot of Greed and Chaos Sorcerer, which is also now off of the front page, so it looks like Gamer's Choice was right at the $3 mark. I keep saying Gamer's Choice was right, and it's painful. But it's just rough to see that that's where these quote-unquote collectibles are ending up. Miracle Fusion at $2, quote-unquote max rarity here. Ultimate Rare will be max rarity for sure on this card, but $2 for the Starlight Rare. It looks good, though. I think that this year is not going to be nearly as collectible inside as last, and again, the staples gotta do it, and we saw how quick they were to reprint multiple staples out of the last year's tins. I can't be that wave and smile guy as the ship goes down. Like, realistically, stores cannot take losses on losses on losses, and there will be less stores carrying product in the next year if Konami does not turn the ship around and steer in a direction where we have promos and better pull rates and product worth opening. And that's why all the other card games are flying off the shelf for the most part, and ours is sitting there rotting among the big three or big five. It is not a good look for the X flagship on opening week to be sold at break even to a loss so that the stores can just get to the next thing. And I can't be the guy that goes, yeah, everything's fine. I'll never be that guy.